Grateful to be in connection today. If you are new to my channel, I am Josie Amoni, keeper of the movement key, creator of the Body Earth program, to access more of self as well as self in relations to all that is. These movement practices are meant to assist and support the Body Earth program, which are meant to allow you some more exploratory movement connection with your body, working with the elements that we consist of within. So in this practice offered today is all about water. I am going to share some practices of how that fluidity can support and grow from within you to bring a greater, almost like protective lubricant energetically around your body, so you feel safer in your body. You know, even in choosing to share how I move in connection to the water element within my body, I had to also kind of like prepare myself, because sharing these intimate practices on video can bring up certain things. Fluid movement sometimes can actually look sexual. I just wanted to kind of put a little precursor here that these practices are for you to connect further to that vibrational fluid energy that we all have access to within, and to allow that to grow so that it can ripple from heart through all aspects of your being. To take it gently, and if this is a new type of practice, I actually would recommend, there's 2 meditations on my channel that can be very supportive for this movement practice. One is the one that is initiating protection and connecting to your center, connecting to the heart. The second one would be a meditation I offered on a recent Meditation Monday, which is getting fluid. Sometimes what is shared in connecting to fluid energy, because it is so comforting, so supporting and loving, it feels almost like you've just, like you're in a cushy bed. So a lot of times in these meditation practices, you may find that you fall asleep, and that's a normal thing. So just know that over time, you will be more conscious as you learn that comfort is not just bringing you into rest. Please share with me if anything does arise, and honor that if it feels a little too exposing or vulnerable in movement for you, to begin with those meditation practices first. And then you can allow, whenever I do offer a water practice, to like build up to it, do a little of it, see how it feels, see what comes up. Sometimes, of course, with bringing greater fluid movement, you'll also find that after you may have a water release, some emotions may flow out of you, tears or a good cry, and that is okay. And also you may even have a movement. So if you pee, have a bowel movement after, that is because it's like when more water is able to move with more ease through our body, almost like a river through those energetic pathways that we create, it will start to dislodge things that might have felt stuck before. So honor the release that may come. If at any time during the movement practice you are guided to rest, you can just kind of at that point rest and lie on the ground and just breathe into the connection. I hope you enjoy this exploratory connection to the element of water that is within us, that we consist of. May your breath and may your heart guide the way. As always, I will film these without music so that you're able to, if you wish to put on your favorite tune, do so. Find something instrumental, something that moves you, that brings up an emotional response. Or just to move to the rhythm and the sound of your breath and what you listen to and sense within your body. This type of seat is simply just allowing me a bit of closer proximity to the ground right now. If this is unable, then you can also just have a seat on your couch and ground your feet. I'm just tapping into the breath and bringing some movement into the pelvis. I'll just show this to the side as well. Just checking in maybe how like bumpy in areas as you move the spine below, like it might kind of feel like, right? So just then slowing down the movement until you start to feel some fluidity. And even bringing some gentle rhythm. Moving from left to right, front to back. Even just changing the rhythm. So if you're going like clockwise at the beginning, to do counterclockwise, just honor the shakes and the shifts. We are trying to get to a point at like a little shake, right? Because that's the vibrational energy that you're connecting into. So honoring like those type of like feeling when either muscle or certain areas of your body are really active, don't worry about it. That's the nice thing about practicing this at home. And after bringing some movement, you're welcome to spend as much time as you need here. To always pause the video if you ever are so guided to just spend time, a little bit more time on one movement. Just allowing with the exhale kind of the whole belly to soften, feeling really solid like a table. Now take this in steps, just depending on your mobility and capacity to move. You can either stay here and begin to bring that gentle movement just into the pelvis. You can move onto your forearms. It's a nice place if you have like a pillow or bolster, you can even support underneath your armpits. So you can then rest your arms farther forward. Getting a bit of an opening into the front of your chest as you do so. Or some of you may just start to rest head or rest chin. And even giving now like a little wiggle to the tushy. This is a deep opening into the shoulders as well. And after the wiggle, bringing again that movement from left to forward with the tailbone, to right, to up. And really slowly stretching the spine forward. And just moving in towards the pelvis, side to side. Find a really solid placement. Ooh. Shoulders as well. And even here, just gently pressing the pelvis down, feeling like the tailbone slowly draw down, belly might even lift up. Doing almost like a little cat-cow here. Allowing your breath to move as it feels how this vulnerability and this flow of spinal movement, what it brings up within you. You see, I'm kind of now moving from lower back into middle spine and kind of getting that right below the lower ribs, softening towards the ground. Not worrying as much about kind of like a chest opener right now, okay? It's just more so you're like working your way up the spine. Lifting the knee, lifting the feet, pressing in towards the knees. Softening the head. This is challenging for your head. You can even bring, again, a pillow or a block or support underneath your forehead. And this will assist in releasing into even the upper back just a bit. You're welcome to also bring some movement into the legs. So you kind of move between pointing the toes and flexing the foot. Rolling over to one side. My right knee is now forwards. Bringing one hand towards your lower back and just opening. Resting the head on the arm or again on a pillow. Sometimes this can feel a little bit much on the left hip, so you can even support underneath the left hip. Just honor whenever you need to bring more cushion, right, between you and the ground. If anything feels hard or tense, to just make it a little more cushy. And even here, I'm just kind of allowing that little wiggle and movement of the pelvis. And then bringing in some movement with the arm, the upper arm. Forward and back. And even as you bring it up, turning it around and reaching all the way back. And then from the back, reaching up, twisting. So you're feeling that you're just giving that lovely twist to the arm. Palm out, so palm in, just playing with almost as if your hand is wading through water, right? So you're just discovering how that feels. And again, no need to do really grandiose or quick fluid movements. It's letting yourself explore. Like if there's some tension or sticky points, almost like rubble in the flow on this angle, then just to wade in the water here. And then just allowing yourself to rest to the ground. Right knee is out to the side. Honoring how high up the knee needs to go for it to feel comfortable. The inner edge of the right foot is just feeling connected. And again, allow the knee to get heavy here. And then just opening the hips, almost like you're sticking the tush up. And then drawing your pelvis down, the lower pelvis down. The sensation or emotion might come up at any time, and at any time there, you just kind of pause and just take a moment to allow yourself to feel the emotion, to let it release through the mouth, through the eyes, through your sound, and gently sliding that leg back down, even just giving a little shake here. One shoulder will feel very different, one side will feel very different. So just lifting the side that you already mobilized, that right arm, with head down, lifting the toes. It's a really subtle motion. And then you can try the left side, lifting the toes. And if you need to keep the knees to the ground, you're welcome to as well. Bending into the knees and lifting up into the spine. Just letting yourself stretch. When you feel ready, you could just now roll over towards your other side, but I'm just going to change sides for ease of filming. So that now left leg is forward. Relaxing. Finding first that right hip on the ground and really honoring those type of anchor points. Hand towards lower back or to hip. And just bringing some gentle movement to the pelvis still. Opening into the chest. This is not a really deep twist. This is a really gentle one. You're just kind of allowing more space to breathe. Humming is really nice when you're connecting towards the fluid. You might find that my sounds might be different than when we connect to an air practice. And also, you're welcome to touch your body, right? To just send love and connection to the areas that you're able to feel and support. And then again, from those gentle touches, just starting to flow, arm forward and back. The nice thing about slower movement is you can start to feel the fluidity or the energy that might feel more viscous and more fluid even in the air, right? A lot of times in movement work that has felt like engaging the muscles from within to feel that resistance. But what's really nice is even to kind of sense the resistance in the air. Playing with, again, the palm facing up to down, just exploring how it is to wave in the air. Until you draw all the way up, palm facing out, bringing it back. And then all the way back around, palm facing in, the hip. It's nice I kind of have a couch here so I can just even rest. I love movement in your natural space because then you can kind of just discover what forms you're around. And feel the support of them as well. Again, honoring how much time you feel and what areas, again, might feel a little extra sticky on one side to the other without analysis. It's just kind of exploring when you get to a sticky point, doing those little corkscrews, and then bringing the flow longer. When you feel ready to, just moving belly forward to rest head to hands or onto a pillow, left knee up to the side. And then just really gently bringing that little type of movement into the pelvis, and honor that it might feel a little different from one side to the other. As we initiate flow, we have to honor that there might be inconsistencies from side to side, and that's just part of the practice, is still going, I love you left side, I love you right side. And as you press the pelvis down, you might lift the belly up a bit, and then lifting the hips out, just doing that type of little cat-cow motion that feels capable for you without, again, over-efforting. You're able to even do some gentle rhythm and circles with that pelvis, even with this weird thing of like one leg being out. Then you're welcome to press into the ground to assist that other leg coming back. Giving a little shake to the legs. Ooh. A wiggle. Lifting the arms, lifting the toes, even if the knees are still on the ground, or you can lift the whole legs. It doesn't really matter. Again, this is not beauty of home practice, is that no one's really watching you, right? So it's more sensory and potentially gentler movements. Exploring your spine, the pelvis here. And this time you can start to roll the shoulders, but again, it's not about rolling the shoulders all the way back to really stuck place. We're not getting into strong stuck places. We're trying to keep the gentle fluidity of the movement going. So once you enjoy the opening, to then draw the hips back and giving them some gentle circles. You're just even moving from one side to the other, just exploring now what you've opened up in the arms and the legs. Until you're able to come back up. Legs a little wider now, back to that type of same movement we done before, but now you're coming to right, left hip. Bringing in some gentle movement into the arms and the spine. You can lean back a bit. I love that I have a couch here. Curl forward. And then finding a gentle seat. And in this seat, now there's a couple ways. You can draw the legs really wide open. If this is challenging for you, which can be for some, I know I have some long legs here, right? It's then just finding, like, do you want to do this because it feels really nice and grounding in the pelvis, but you might place some support underneath the knees and let the knees be bent, right? As much as they might need to be. So to see it will look a little different. Or you could also bend one knee and then the other and just then support underneath here. Sometimes I find within this position, though, we tend to kind of lean back a bit, right? It's harder to find that balance of the pelvis. So if you're bending the knees, just try to widen the legs a bit until you feel those sides and bony parts of your pelvis feel very solid so that you can have more exploratory motion within the spine. So it's less kind of rolled back already, which would inhibit you from moving forward without tension in the groin, okay? So from there, finding the stance that works for you. And then the same thing. Just first bringing some weight to the left and right hips, and then gently moving forwards, even back. Whew. You'll see I'm even supporting my thighs that are on the ground, but I'd never be pushing into kind of my knees in this position. But you can press in towards the top of the thigh, or even just to support your hips with your hands. So this is just solidifying now that connection. And as we know, when we're kind of solidifying a connection, a fluid openness, you can give a little shake on the exhale to release now whatever needs to move through that towards the earth. And then draw up, almost as if you're feeling like you're drawing up and filling up the cup of the belly, filling up into the legs, filling up through the toes. So you see, I'm not in like a perfect stance of my spine too, because that would then create some stuck points. So my spine feels comfortable, a little rounded forward at the top right now, even the head. Just honoring, time to move up the spine without forcing it into certain positions. And then moving onto your back. And from back, just lifting the knees, even giving a little shake and wiggle here. Letting knees and ankles get a little softer. You might even draw the knees forward and back just to find a place that feels good for your spine. Even bring a gentle figure 8, kind of like bringing movement into both knees, which is a really nice massage into the back of your pelvis. But honor if you start to feel tension into that area that might be curved into the lower back, then you can bring the hips further forward. Or you can bring one foot to the ground and even do this with one foot to the ground for stability, and then just shift sides. And then even now lifting up arms, elbows, knees, ankles are all nice and just soft, exploring the air above you. Position, this will help you also find kind of like head position that feels comfortable so that you're still looking right up towards the sky. And then opening the legs out. This might be with bent knees, just like how you did on the ground, right? So just because you see my legs a little straighter, don't worry if yours are not. And then as you reach them out, just again, giving them a little shake. drawing them in and out, be it with longer legs or bent knees, just honoring what works for you. And then letting one leg rest down. Oh, and there's my dog. And another leg rest down. Giving some space for you now just to relax here and breathe and feel that you're drawing up support from the ground, from the earth, even connecting to the currents of water that are underneath you that run through our cities and towns. Even the finest trickle. It's as if you're calling in that connection to the fluidity below. Letting the water of your being, the water of your heart, call in that connection. And then just exploring some gentle fluid movement, even with one arm. Even slowing down wherever you need to honor your body. None of our fluid movements will really look the same. Arms are kind of fun because you can feel like you're like wiggling little worms and discovering where those stuck points are still and slowing down into those stuck points. Being gentler there. And then leg, just reaching it out to the side. Reaching it in. Our legs, of course, aren't as fluid as fins and dolphins' tails, right? Just of how our bones are structured. So this sometimes can feel a little bit more awkward. So feel though that those bones themselves are like the fluid connector from the lowest part of you in towards your pelvis. So each movement is like drawing through your bones in towards your pelvis. From here, feet are together, knees are a little wider, supporting you as you need to. And same thing, just getting into that little pelvic roll. This can then, if this is too challenging, even be done with knees bent. And then reaching from right to left. Almost like you're finding more space into the middle spine, even giving a little massage to that middle spine. Pressing the hips down, pressing the head back, opening the chest. So now you're welcome to kind of stay here if this feels good as kind of an ending point. If there's already some release, right? Is just to kind of flow with the spine here on the ground. Just exploring how breath now can draw that fluid from the earth, that energy through the pelvis with more ease, possibly into the belly, possibly even into the heart, allowing from that to ripple out through the heart to expand wherever it is able to go. If you wish to stay here, do so, or you can then gently roll to the side and come up to more of a seated position. And then again, just really rolling in towards the pelvis here. Rolling into the spine. So it's a very similar motion, but as you see, of course, when we're seated or lying down, it may look or feel a little less vulnerable. So just honoring what you're capable or wish to do today. If you need more support for the hands, you can even bring those hands higher up or lower the legs farther out, right? So that you're just finding the angle that works for you. And then even crossing the legs by the end of it. And just now feeling that connection point, that opening, right? Our pelvis and anus and those lovely holes. Allowing those to soften and open. Just allowing you to feel that from the energy that you're drawing up through the belly, right? Moving in that lovely fluidity, that rolling motion, be up into the ribs, into the shoulders, into the head, into the arms. If knees feel that it's limiting, again, you can bring legs as so, or to keep on the ground. Even go onto your chair. A way though, that when you feel kind of like the legs constrict or get really hard, to remind them that they're like, we're funneling energy from Mama, from Mother Earth. So keeping the portals open, keeping the openings open. Yeah, so lots of gyrational types of movement today for our first water practice. The nicest thing is if you do have music by this point, just allow yourself to kind of explore and connect and touch, right? Because as we get water, we can connect now to the texture of the skin, right? Like what is being stored in there and how the skin can get stronger. So just letting yourself move with the music you have on, or move with the energy you've created. More self-expression. You might even end by just rolling on the ground. And then finding kind of that end point, be it on back or on the belly, whatever feels comforting from that exploratory movement for you. And just resting. A very gentle shake of any areas that might come up, just little rhythms. Sometimes as you rest here, your body might do some little twitches, right? Which is meaning more solar or fire energy currents might be finding new pathways with the water. So it'd be kind of like a twitch or, little movements. Just honor them and then bring breath. Not to be afraid of how your body awakens or releases. You're welcome to rest here as long as you wish. May this practice today have served your fluidity and more exploratory expression of that fluidity that feels right for you today. In all those areas that you can connect to. And you may feel like you wish to continue practice by putting on some more fun music and having a dance party. You may wish to have a nice shower or a good pee after, as I shared, or just allow some more sound to come, allow some more release to come by connecting now that the fluidity initiated in the body into the heart, and any pain or sadness, anger in the heart, just breathing into that and sending love and compassion to yourself for having carried it for so long. And then allowing it to move through you, even if that comes in tears. Thank you so much for joining. I look forward to hearing how your practice went, if you are so guided to share. Much love as we connect to bodies, to earth,